Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today, and today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 8th and 9th of January 2023. Let's start with our session. Who is the first woman officer to be operationally deployed at Kumar Post in Siachen? So Captain Shiva Chauhan, who is an officer from the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers basically, became the first woman officer to be operationally deployed at Kumar Post in the Siachen Glacier. And where does this post lie? So this post is located at an altitude of 15,632 feet. And Kumar Post is named after late Colonel Narinder Kumar, who was there with the Indian Army when Indian Army launched Operation Meghdoot in the year 1984. Okay, so here important thing is the first woman officer who has been operationally deployed at Kumar Post in Siachen Glacier is Captain Shiva Chauhan. And already many times I have told you that this keyword is very important, named as first. Okay, next is, which High Court has directed the city government to ensure free food and the medical treatment to HIV-positive persons? So Delhi High Court has directed the city government to ensure free food and the medical treatment to HIV-positive persons who are living below the poverty line. Okay, and also it directed the government to strictly comply with the law that deals with the grievances of affected patient. Fine. So this is the Delhi High Court. When do we observe the World AIDS Day? It is observed every year on 1st of December. And what was the theme for the year 2022? The theme was Equalize. Okay. Next is, Bailey Suspension Bridge has been inaugurated in which Indian state or the Union Territory? So our Defense Minister Rajnath Singh virtually inaugurated the Bailey Suspension Bridge over the river Chenab in Jammu and Kashmir. And this 240 feet high Bailey Suspension Bridge has been completed recently by the Border Roads Organization, and they have completed it 1 month before the deadline. So this launching of the new Bailey Suspension Bridge was initiated in the month of October. So you have to remember that this suspension bridge lies in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Next question is, as of January 2023, what is the interest rate for the General Provident Fund? First of all, we have to understand what is this General Provident Fund. Actually, this is a type of account that is available only for the government employees in India. And all the government employees can contribute a certain percentage of their salary to this General Provident Fund. Fine. So the government has basically kept the interest rate unchanged at 7.1% for the subscribers of the General Provident Fund and other similar fund. And in the previous quarter that ended on 31st of December, this GPF interest was at the same 7.1%. And this rate is valid from 1st of January 2023 up to what time? Up to 31st of March 2023 as per the Finance Ministry statement in a notification. Fine. So currently the interest rate for the GPF is 7.1%. Now if you are asked that as per the minimum public shareholding norm, what is the minimum public float for all the listed companies? So as per this minimum public shareholding norm, at least 25% public float is mandated for all the listed companies. Fine. And what happened is the government has recently exempted public sector entities from this minimum public shareholding norm. And this exemption would apply on the entities regardless of the government's direct or indirect holding. Fine. So you can be asked that what is the minimum public float for all the listed companies? This value is 25%. Next is, India signed $1.2 billion loan agreements for the infrastructure projects with which institution? So Indian government has signed this much amount of loan agreement for the infrastructure projects with Asian Development Bank. Okay, and apart from it, a loan agreement was signed worth $350 million to improve connectivity in Maharashtra. Also, a loan agreement worth $300 million was signed to upgrade highways and the major roads in the state of Assam. And other agreements are to improve power sector in Tripura state and metro rail system in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Okay, so your correct answer will be Asian Development Bank. Headquarter lies in Philippines. Talking about AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, headquarter lies in Beijing, China. IMF headquarter lies in Washington, DC, and also the headquarters of World Bank lies in Washington, DC. Fine. Next is, how many new members have been recently added to the United Nations Security Council in 2023 for a 2-year tenure? This question is extremely important. Actually, 5 countries have been made the new members of United Nations Security Council for the 2-year seats they won unopposed in the month of June. Okay, and these 5 countries are, first is Ecuador, second is Japan, third is Malta, then fourth is Mozambique, and last is Switzerland. Okay, and which countries are they replacing? So these countries would replace India, Ireland, Kenya, Mexico, and Norway. Okay, so the ambassadors of the 5 countries installed their national flags alongside those of other members outside the council chambers. So you have to remember these 5 countries which have joined the United Nations Security Council, and also you have to remember these 5 countries whom they are to be replacing. Okay, so your correct answer would be 5. This question is very, very important. Now talking about United Nations Security Council, who are the permanent 5 members of UNSC? So these are China, France, Russia, UK, and the US. Fine. These are the permanent 5 members of UNSC. Next is, which country has announced financial support to the households to move away from the capital city? So Japan has planned to boost financial support to the households to move away from the capital city, Tokyo. What does it mean? So basically it aims to combat depopulation in other areas of the country, and eligible families in the Tokyo metropolitan area will receive 1 million yen, which is near about $7,700 per child starting in a fiscal year 2023 if they move to a disadvantaged local area. Okay, so this is the initiative of the country Japan. Can you tell me the name of any 2 exercises that India conducts with Japan? Do let me know in the comments. Next is, who is the first bowler to take a hat-trick in the first over of a Ranji Trophy match? So Saurashtra cricket captain Jaydev Unadkat became the first bowler to take a hat-trick in the first over of a Ranji Trophy match, and he achieved the feat in Saurashtra's Elite Group B match against Delhi at Rajkot. Okay, and he picked up here 6 wickets for 29 runs in his 9 overs. Okay, and talking about Ranji Trophy match, one news is very important from Ranji Trophy. What is that? 3 female umpires are officiating this year's Ranji Trophy, right? And what are the name of these 3 female umpires? First is Vrinda Rathi, second name is Janani Narayan, and the third name is Gayatri Venu Gopalan. Okay, these 3 names are also important. Next is, which institution commissioned India's first green hydrogen blending project? So NTPC Limited commissioned India's very first green hydrogen blending project in the piped natural gas network of NTPC Kawas Township in Surat. Okay, and this project is a joint effort of NTPC and Gujarat Gas Limited. And green hydrogen in Kawas is made by electrolysis of water using the power from already installed 1 megawatt floating solar project, and this feat has been achieved only by few countries till now, like UK, Germany and Australia. Now also India. Okay, so this is the initiative of anti-PC. Now apart from it, Gan Nagai festival is celebrated in which Indian state? So this is celebrated in the state of Manipur, and it is celebrated every year after harvesting by the Zeliangrong community. Okay, and during the festival, this community shows their gratitude by offering their harvest to the Almighty, and it is a custom type of thing to produce new fire by rubbing the dry wood and split bamboo pieces and distribute them to other household. And this Zeliangrong community in Manipur comprises of Rongmai, Liangmai and the Zeme tribes. Okay, so you have to remember that Gan Nagai festival is celebrated in the state of Manipur. Next question is, which state has announced to start the Kalsa Banduri Nala project? So recently Karnataka state has received the clearance from the center for 2 detailed project reports on this Kalasa Banduri Nala on the Mahadai river. Okay, and Goa actually objected to this decision and has planned to represent its concern to the center. So this project aims to divert the water from the Mahadai river to satisfy the drinking water needs of 4 districts of the Karnataka state. And talking about Mahadai river, it originates in Belagavi district of Karnataka state, and then later on it flows into the Arabian Sea in Goa. Fine. So this is a project from Karnataka state government. Next is, which institution implements the Bikaner Solar Power project? So President of India Draupadi Murmu laid the foundation stone of this 1000 megawatt Bikaner Solar Power project in the state of Rajasthan in Jaipur. Okay, and this project is being implemented by SJVN Limited through its wholly owned subsidiary SJVN Green Energy Limited. And talking about Bikaner, it is one of the highest solar yield areas of the country, and this project is scheduled to be commissioned by March 2024. And talking about SJVN, it is a leading power central public sector enterprise which works under Ministry of Power. Okay, so this is a initiative of SJVN Limited. Now last question is, Siom Bridge has been inaugurated in which state or the Union Territory? So our Defense Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated the Siom Bridge in Arunachal Pradesh state, and it is constructed by the Borders Road Organization. So it is basically one among the 28 projects, and most of them lie along the border with China. So they include 12 in Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, 5 in Arunachal Pradesh, 3 each in Sikkim, Punjab and Uttarakhand, and 2 in Rajasthan. Fine. So here correct answer would be Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the most important current affairs and the news from today. And now let's start with our December 2022 current affairs revision, and this is our part 1 in this series. So basically how we will proceed, total we'll do 240 most important questions from the month of December, and every day we'll revise 15 questions from the month of December. Fine. So in total it will take 16 days to revise the whole current affairs from the month of December. So today is the first part of it, and let's start with our revision session. First question is, India-US Joint Military Exercise Yuddh Abhyas 2022 is held in which Indian state? Actually, this was the 18th edition of this Yuddh Abhyas, and it is being held in the state of Uttarakhand. Answer would be Uttarakhand state, and this exercise is between India and US. Second is, as per the recent data, what is the maternal mortality ratio in India during 2018 to 20? So this figure was 97 per lakh live birth. And what is this maternal mortality ratio? It means the number of maternal deaths divided by 1 lakh live birth. Okay, so this figure is 97. And what is our SDG target of MMR? SDG target is 70 per lakh live births by the year 2030. Okay. Which French fruit product has been recently awarded the UNESCO Heritage status? So this French food product is baguette that has been provided with the UNESCO Heritage status recently. When is the Day of Remembrance for all the victims of chemical warfare observed? So we observe this day on 30th of November. And why do we observe this day? To pay tribute to the victims of chemical warfare actually, and also it aims to encourage the efforts for eliminating the use of chemical weapons. Which is the first country to gather 6 of its astronauts into space? So this country is China. China has recently successfully launched the spacecraft that carries 3 astronauts to its space station, and already 3 colleagues were there in the space. So total it has gathered 6 of its astronauts into space. Fine. Next is RHD13, which was seen in the news recently, is a semi-dwarf gene of which particular crop? So recently the team of scientists has discovered a new drought-resilient semi-dwarf wheat gene and named it as RHD13. Which institution released a report titled as Carbon Capture, Utilization and Storage Policy Framework? This was a report from Niti Aayog. Which country tops the Global Minority Index published by the Center for Policy Analysis? So this index was topped by India, and then India was followed with South Korea, Japan, Panama and the US. Okay, so these are the top 5 countries in this list. And which countries were at the bottom of the list? So these countries are Maldives, Afghanistan and Somalia. Which state recently launched a graded response action plan to combat the pollution? So recently West Bengal government has announced this graded response action plan to combat the rising pollution in their state. The government e-marketplace GEM platform was launched in which year? So it was launched in the year 2016, and it is a kind of an online platform for the public procurement in India. And what is the objective? To create an open and transparent procurement platform for the government buyers. Okay. Next is Mukhyamantri Digital Seva Yojana is an initiative of which scheme? So this is the initiative of Rajasthan state government, and under this, women heads of families who are enrolled in the Chiranjeevi health insurance scheme will receive the smartphones with internet connectivity for the next 3 years. Okay. And also the state has picked Reliance Jio and Bharti Airtel in a more than 12,000 crore rupees tender to provide the internet access and free smartphones under the scheme. You can also be asked that for this purpose Rajasthan has collaborated with which 2 important companies? It is Reliance Jio and Bharti Airtel. The Union Public Service Commission can have a maximum of how many members? So maximum it can have the 10 members. And our former Health Secretary Preeti Sudan has been appointed as a member of UPSC recently. Which state cabinet floated bill to implement 30% horizontal reservation for the women in the state? This is Uttarakhand state government. Okay. Which Indian state has named Prasoon Joshi as its brand ambassador? Recently Prasoon Joshi became the brand ambassador for Uttarakhand state government. Fine. And the last question is, what is the theme of the World AIDS Day 2022? So we observe this day on 1st of December every year, and already I have told you that the theme was equalize. Okay. So these are the most important 15 questions from the month of December, and similarly we will proceed like this in the further lectures. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Minu Zahadsana signing off.